run it like that. No, 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 no. Way too fast. Like I said, just real light pressure. Look, I'm even making art right there in the center. You are getting sleepy. You are getting sleepy. Sorry, I had to. And we got our 1000 grit. And every grit that you change over to, it takes a little bit more. Just to make sure you got the other scratches out from the lower grit. By the time you get to 2000, it almost feels like toilet paper. Meaning there's not very much grain in the 2000 grit. Oh, quit. And yes, I know there's a chance of me bumping into these. Trust me, I've done it many times, and even stuck my finger that way into one. That didn't feel good at all. Something I do not recommend. I think the one that hurt the worst was that scar right there. I got my thumb somehow in a jigsaw and pulled the trigger with my other hand. Like I said in one of my videos before, I do lots of dumb stuff. That's 1000, we're gonna do 1500. It's the Wheel of Fortune. I'm a dork, I know. I gotta do something stupid just to kind of keep you entertained, because otherwise watching something turning around and around while I rub on it is disturbing and boring. Now, if you said a bald man in a spinny chair, spun him around when somebody rubbed his bald head, now that would be kind of funny actually. A little weird, but it'd be funny. And just make sure that you get it real good as you go through the grains. There's 1000. And you can also kind of soak your wet paper, wet sandpaper in water a little while before you use it. And it makes it really soft, a little bit more bendable. I know I buffed the face of it earlier, but I went back, got some more buffing compound. I guess it's still down in the house. But I use McGuire's, and you can step it up through the grits on that stuff also, but really you don't need to. I'm gonna get this wet sanded and done, and then I'll explain the buffing part. And I know they got those micro mesh pads that you could use, but if you're buffing something with a buffing compound, 2000 grit's really the highest you need to go. Buffing with a pad is a heck of a lot more easier than doing this all the way to 30,000. I'd probably become suicidal if I had to do all the way to 30,000 every time. Especially on those big pieces that you got to do with a hand, just they're like this the whole time. That is spinning, of course. But this part right here is the most important out of everything that I do on these pieces with a high gloss. You can't have any imperfections. I know that blue ocean base I did, I looked at it and it's actually got, I saw some streaks in the finish and it was actually a little bit of wax that I didn't wipe off. Yay me. Alright. If you got a piece of wood on your bed or dye or any kind of finish on top of that, oh, excuse me. Use you a clamp and clamp it down to your bed so it don't fall over and you send stuff everywhere. So Soko, since she blew my phone up whenever I was in the middle of recording the first part. I'll give him the reason why. He spilled a ton of blue dye. It fell off of his bed. You just gotta laugh at that sometimes. That's how it looks at 2000 grit. No scratches, nice and smooth. And I put the tape on here because I didn't want to mess up that rim, or mess the edge of the rim with the face of it with it sitting down like that. So I'm gonna get all this out, get the buffing pad compound on here, and I'll explain that part too. So what I got here is I've got my chuck and a chuck. It's kind of like a turducken, but not really. I wouldn't need this. Kind of reminds me of a funny story. I was at work one day doing a big tune-up on a multi-story complex. My co-worker and I were just cutting up. We got to joking about side chicks or whatever, and then he chucked a filter at me sideways, and he said, "Oh, we got a side chuck." And I know you ladies out there, some of y'all be having some side chucks, so you know that's funny. Alright, so this is just a 6-inch foam pad from the Autos Parts store. Nothing special. Foam, give you the best finish. And right now I've got that sitting on a piece of paper towel so nothing gets on it. And after you get through wet sanding it, you're going to want to wash it off, get all the other grits off of it. That way you don't leave any other scratches in it. And the polish I use is McGuire's Mary Lay's. If you look at some of them, they'll show you what the cut is. A heavy cut is like having 80 grit, a fine cut or light cut's like 2000 grit. Not in that specific size of grit, but the lighter it is, the finer and shinier it'll get. And you'll see after I get through buffing this thing out and put some wax on it. Just make sure you shake it up real good, because there's particles in there that actually do the buffing like sandpaper. But it's super small. I am a genius! God, I've done that many times before. Now, you're going to want to put it on the edge and over in here. Just kind of work it in a little bit. And if you want to, you can buff your fingernails out if you feel ever so inclined. Just do them all if you do it, because you'll look kind of funny. Don't use the face. You got the buffing compound on here, this thing's going to get slick as owl crap, and it'll come loose quicker than heavy on the tequila and Taco Bell after, to say the least. Not too fast. I've got a tack on here, but whenever I replaced my bearings, I lost the magnet for the tack, so it no longer works. But I know this is about 250 RPMs from when I had the magnet on there. Let me get you a better view so you can see. We all know I suck as a cameraman. And I've got Lexan or plexiglass ordered for the string shield. What you're going to do is just run it back and forth. And you can tell, like, whenever I run it, the compound goes that way, so you're going to want to go that way as you're doing it. That way you don't have a big old gob of compound on this side. And sometimes it'll kick out on the other side depending on which way you're working it. And be mindful of your chuck back there. I ain't gonna say I'm perfect because I've bumped that thing plenty of times, and by the time you get to this point and you bump it into something and scratch it, it'll make you leave the shop. So that means you gotta sand it down, re-lacquer it. And by this time, there's no longer a tenon or a mortise to use. Well, sometimes there's a mortise. And don't forget your edge. You don't have to bear down doing this, because when you bear down, it increases pressure. Pressure means friction. And friction means you'll burn the finish, which will also make you leave the shop because you got to start all back over. And a lot of people, they don't, or they won't do this because it just takes so long to do. But once you do one with a high gloss that's like a mirror, shine juice is just never the same. Alright. Running out of compound, so we're going to re-up. I forget the dude's name that always paints the seagulls on everything online. I just had him in my mind. We'll just put a little bit of this right here and we're good. Alright. Compound back on. Just gotta work the areas the pad can work as you're going along. Compound's not coming out, so we can run it up a little bit more. And if you're going so fast the compound's just slinging out of the pad, you are way too fast. I mean, it'll sling off of the piece that you're buffing, but if it starts just... I'll take one for the team. I'm glad I love y'all. Well, y'all better be glad I love y'all. Don't run it like that. No, 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 no. Way too fast. And don't leave it sitting in one spot forever either, because you'll burn it also. Yay, Michael gets to clean up a mess. Shit. Get him a bandsaw. Oh well. Alright, do one side and one area. And I went ahead and burn in my DC in the bottom of it. It won't be super noticeable, but it will be there. So this is a long process to do it this way, but to me it's, I mean, I can't do the shine juice. I mean, if it's a wood bowl and I'm doing a natural finish, then I'll just run some Axe finishing paste on there. Maybe put a little bit more oil on it if it's still thirsty. But other than that, I'll do the wood bowl finish, which that takes a while too. Alright. I've got to go wash this off real quick, and then we'll wax it. Oh, how do I do this without getting stuff all over the camera? When you're done doing that, such a mess. I just broke my rule. Dang it. What I was going to say is, after you wash the bowl or piece that you're working on, you got your hands clean, don't dirty them up. I just dirtied my hands. Quick change out for waxing. Bam, done. And I use the McGuire's Gold Class wax. I am so unprepared for this video. One thing at a time. Just a little piece of paper towel. When you do this and you're done wiping it off, I want to get another can today because this is done semi-dried out. I know some of you are thinking semi, hell, that's fully dried out, so it works. But they were out and I couldn't get any more. So just wipe this on, throw a thin layer all over, don't miss anywhere. And you can actually take this knowledge and use it on me, because that's where I learned it from. Don't forget the rim. That side's good and coated. And this funky looking stuff right here, that was a pad that was in there. If you're in the can, patched up. Just wipe it all over. Once you get done wiping it on there, you're going to let it sit and then dry. And of course, if you burn your logo in or whatever, you're going to run into that problem. Oh well, I'll worry about that later on. I'll just have to wash it out. The problem with the wax is, once it dries and hardens, it doesn't want to come out. And this will just help protect it. And when you wipe it off, I'm going to go ahead and warn you, it's going to be slick. Just like when you use buffing, it'll be that slick. Alright. Let that dry. Alright. I say alright a lot. I don't know why. So it's dry. It peels off. Or powdery, depending on how thick it is. So that's when it's dry. So all you're gonna do is just take your paper towel and wipe it back off. Wax on, wax off. Like Mr. Miyagi said. I'll have a few pieces on there that don't want to come off. So you flip it around. The other side and let those little pieces dry a little bit more. Around the clean side. This off. Get off. And after you get all the little pieces off, you'll need another piece of paper towel. But pow! I was ready this time. Let's make sure you get it all off. For some reason, sometimes they get little stranglers that don't want gonna stick because of static. I'm guessing. There's Strag, what I was talking about. Don't know where he came from. Luckily, none of it got really stuck down in there. Alright. There we go. I'm gonna take it outside and sunlight them, but really see it. If you go to sit it back down, flip your rag over so you don't stick it in more wax to wipe off. Alright, let me disconnect you. That's just beautiful. Sure beautiful. Hope you liked it. Stay tuned for more.